This is the Church of St. Paul in the Desert.
In the name of God, amen. Please be seated. I said at 8 o'clock that Andrew had stolen my thunder by saying Happy New Year, but so be it, I say it again. And so we begin again. We begin the cycle of salvation history, and we begin again hearing the mighty acts of God, and are reminded that this Advent season is yet another time of talking about this gap between the first coming and the second coming. And yet, how counterpunctual, dissonant the lessons seem to be in terms of what the world is saying to us about preparing for Christmas, right? I say that a tad skeptically, only because the church has always marched to a different drummer. But that does not mean, in fact, that we don't have all those other things to do. But we hear these lessons, and there seems to be a moment of what actually is going on here. Now, for most of us, we kind of think we are those who have a real toehold or handle on being impatient. Well, 3rd Isaiah, writing to Israel as they are about to return from exile, or have returned, in fact, from exile. Our Old Testament lesson is written in that context. And in fact, it has a little impatience in it. The assumption was when restoration happened and they returned to Jerusalem, everything would be wonderful and the restoration would happen. And they return and they find out, no, desolation is really the name of the game. The restoration has not really happened. And so they remember the mighty acts of God, and in their human condition, they say unequivocally, God, act now, please. Now, on my terms, not on yours, but my terms. And God, in God's infinite wisdom, yet again, reminds us that a moment in time is like 1,000 years, and it doesn't happen according to our level of impatience. And it is a part of the human condition, need I remind you, as you stand in line or wait at a stoplight or any of those other things. Hurry up, get on with it. Someone coming to church last evening said to me as they came in the door, they said, there are too many people in this town right now. I thought, well, yeah, that's a part of the holiday season. It's a reminder, though. What are we being alert for? What are we looking for? Where are we looking for God? Where are we looking for God? We are an impatient lot, and we are constantly wanting things on our terms. The apocalyptic language that is used in the gospel this morning, stars falling from heaven, all kinds of dissonance and discord. And you think there's anything new under the sun? People use pepper spray to get their game. People get up they go at midnight on Thanksgiving evening to buy all the things that Madison Avenue says you need, may not want, but you need these things. And we all get caught up in that, and people shoot each other, going in, fisticuffs break out as this mass of humanity charges in to get these things that, again, we're told we need to have. What always amazes me in an economy that is not doing that well, all these people have all this money to spend. Dissonance, discord with reality. Somehow, somewhere, what are we looking for? And where do we want to find God? And where do we find God in the midst of this? The essence of Advent is about hope, the hope that has come true over generations. In the 7th century or the 5th century BC, on through generations, as God has acted in history. And yet, during Advent, we look to the future and what is to come. And yet the reminder in the midst of that also, in this Advent season, is a little bit like that phrase that is oft quoted, be careful what you asked for. You may just get it. And do we really know the radical nature of God's coming? Because we also get caught up in the sentimentality and romanticism of the baby Jesus at Bethlehem. And we fail to remember the harshness of the reality that comes with this Jesus, this God with us, this God become one of us. Do we remember the radical nature of that? Hope, the possibilities yet unseen. There's the story of a grandmother who took her granddaughter to hear Cardinal Cushing. Now, I'm old enough to remember when Cardinal Cushing was on television. I remember that. But anyway, the story goes that the grandmother was rather amazed that her granddaughter just became more and more entranced with what he was saying. And so she leaned over and asked her granddaughter, so what do you think of what he has to say? And he was talking about creation. And the young lady turned and said to her grandmother, oh, I'm really enjoying it because you really never know what God's going to do next. That also is a part of Advent. What is God going to do next? It is that hope that is within us. It is that remembering the possibilities, the vision that is presented to us. Hope. The essence of this Advent season. William Fry, one-time Bishop of Colorado, said this: hope is the melody of the future. Faith is the courage to dance to it today. The tune is beginning. Are we willing to step out and dance and to be ready when the music plays forcefully? Hope, God's gift to us, God's presence with us. Amen.